All right, so this video is going to go over writing piecewise functions from a graph on Delta Math. So what you're given in each of these is a piecewise function. So notice here I have one function here, nothing in between here, which might throw you off a little bit, and then a function here. So what I really want to do is just write a function for each of these. So what we did in class or in our meeting on Monday or Tuesday is we talked about writing equations from the graph. So first what you need to do is you need to think about where these boundaries are. So this one's at -1, right? And this one here is at 4. So I have two parts. I have one where x is going to be less than -1, and I have another part where x is going to be greater than 4. So those are going to be my limits, my domain restrictions, but I need to now find the equation of the line. So this point here is -1, 4. -1, 4. So I'm going to use that point, and I'm also going to look for my slope. If I look at my slope, I'm just seeing a -1 slope. So I know I'm going to have something like y equals -1x plus b, right? I need to find out what b is though. So I need to plug in my x and y from that point I have. So I'm going to have 4 equals -1. My x value is -1 as well. So notice I'm just plugging in x and y and then plus b. So this is equal to 1. So I have 4 equals 1 plus b. Subtract 1 and I get 3 equals b. So I know this side of the equation is -1x plus 3. So if I go down below, the first equation I'm going to write, remember I don't write the y equals part, I just write the -1x plus 3. I could also write -x plus 3, that would work too. And then I'm going to restrict the domain. So this one, it starts at 1 or -1 for x, but then it goes all the way to the left. There's that arrow, so there's no end there. So it's just x is going to be, and I think I have a filled in circle, so it's going to be less than or equal to -1. So there's my first part. Now I need to find out the second part. One thing I know here is that x is going to be greater than 4 there. So I can already write that in just to know that I've got it. So greater than 4. So now all I need to do is find the equation of that line. So again, I find a point. So that point there is 4, 3. And then I see my slope is going to be a +2, up to right 1. So I've got y equals 2x, and then I need to find out what b is. So I'm going to plug in my x and y from this point. So 3 equals 2 times 4 plus b. 3 is my y, 4 is my x, 2 is my slope, or m. So then this is 8. If I subtract 8 from both sides, I get -5 as b. So my equation is going to be 2x minus 5. So if I go down here, I'm plugging in 2x minus 5. Remember, I don't include that y equals part because it's already accounted for with that f of x equals. So there I have, this side is all set. This side is all set. Everything is accounted for. That was a open circle. I'm just going to double check to make sure I'm good with that. Yes, it's open, so it should only be greater than 4. So I'm all set to submit my answer. And there we go. So keep in mind, go back to this video, go back to the video where I did it out on paper. The process is the same. You just really need to think about you're plugging in values for X and Y, you're finding your slope, and you're going from there. One thing that's really particular is making sure you're restricting the domain well. I'm just going to look at the next problem, see if there's anything else I want to mention. And I don't think there is. This one goes from -6 to 1. So that one's going to have X between two values. I'm just going to show you that really quickly. So it starts at -6. -6 is going to be less than or equal to X, which is going to be less than 1. So I'm restricting it between two values. So the last one, we had an arrow, so it was only restricted by one value. When you have endpoints, you need to restrict it between two values, which means you have X with the less than signs on either side. So this says -6 is less than or equal to X is less than 1. I'm not going to submit my answer. I just wanted to show that. All right, good luck. Please email me with any questions. I hope this helps.